I was reborn as Cole Anderson, the useless, rich kid protagonist of a novel who had nothing going for him except a mountain of cash. The good news was I never had to work again. The bad news was my fiancée was Victoria Davenport, the Ice Queen CEO who was married to her work and looked at me like I was something she'd scraped off her shoe. The even worse news was she was standing in front of me right now, demanding to break off our engagement. Wait a second. Maybe that was good news, too. Cole, let's call off the engagement. Victoria's voice was as cold as her personality, holding not a shred of warmth. She stood a good 10 feet away from me, as if getting any closer might contaminate her. Her face, widely hailed as the most beautiful in the business world, was an open mask of undisguised disgust and contempt. I was still struggling to process the new memories flooding my brain. Hearing her words, I looked up instinctively. The woman before me wore a perfectly tailored black pantsuit, her long hair pulled back in a severe bun. Her eyes were as sharp as shards of ice. I got it. This was the opening scene of the book. Cole Anderson, the worthless side character, gets publicly dumped by the brilliant and beautiful Victoria Davenport. Humiliated and furious, he spirals into villainy, becoming a stepping stone for the story's actual hero. Except I wasn't that Cole. Me, a corporate drone who'd slaved away until 35 and still couldn't afford a down payment on a condo, was now the sole heir to a massive fortune. Breaking the engagement? Was this a dream come true? It meant I didn't have to stare at that frozen face anymore. It meant I could officially begin the life of luxurious laziness I'd always dreamed of. Okay, I said, the single word sharp and clean. The air in the room instantly froze. A whole speech of mockery and condescension Victoria had prepared died in her throat. For the first time, a flicker of shock crossed her stunning features. What did you say? I said okay. I repeated, shifting into a more comfortable position on the couch. When do we sign the papers? I'm free whenever. Victoria's brow furrowed. She probably thought this was some new, manipulative game of mine. Cole, drop the spoiled brat act. I'm not negotiating with you. Her voice grew colder. Our engagement has to end today. From now on, we go our separate ways. Couldn't have hoped for more, I said with a genuine smile. Seeing the utter confusion on her face, the why aren't you following the script look made me want to laugh out loud. Freedom, sunshine, beaches, fine dining, beautiful women. Here I come. My complete lack of ambition seemed to infuriate her. She acted as if saying one more word to me would be a waste of her precious life. I'll have my lawyer send over the agreement. With that, she turned and walked away on 10-centimeter heels, her back straight and resolute like a drawn sword. I stretched out on the sofa, a deep sense of satisfaction spreading through me. Now, this was living. I casually picked up my phone and dialed the top number in my contacts, my right-hand man, my ace employee Miller. Mr. Anderson, a respectful, steady voice answered. Miller, I yawned. Anything fun happening lately? There was a 3-second pause on the other end. Miller was clearly trying his best to decipher the profound, hidden meaning behind my question. This was the essence of coasting. Say as little as possible and let them scramble to figure it out. Sir, there's that development plot in Hudson West. Several firms are fighting tooth and nail for it. Richie Vance has thrown his hat in the ring as well. Is that the kind of fun you're referring to? Miller asked tentatively. Richie Vance? A piece of the original plot surfaced in my mind. Oh, right. The guy who used his family's minor wealth to constantly antagonize Victoria, only to be crushed by the novel's hero later on. The Hudson West plot was a trap. Whoever jumped in was doomed. I had zero interest in that mess. My interest lay elsewhere. Next to that plot, isn't there a private kitchen called Hearthstone Manor? I asked. Yes, sir. It's owned by old Mr. Monroe. It's not open to the public, only serves regulars. I grunted lazily. Find a way to get me a reservation for tonight. I want to check it out. As for everything else, you handle it. I hung up before he could reply. The second rule of living the easy life: give vague instructions and expect amazing results. As for Richie Vance and that worthless piece of land, not my problem. I just wanted a good meal. Miller, true to his reputation as an ace, was frighteningly efficient. 30 minutes later, a Rolls-Royce Phantom was parked outside the villa. Miller himself held the door open, respectfully handing me a gold-embossed invitation. Sir, your table at Hearthstone Manor is ready for this evening. I nodded in satisfaction and slipped into the car. Hearthstone Manor was tucked away in a quiet alley, a place of brick and dark wood, exuding old-world charm. There was no sign, only 2 antique lanterns flanking the entrance. The moment I stepped inside, a faint scent of sandalwood mixed with the aroma of food greeted me. I was led to a private room named the Orchid. I had just sat down when the door curtain was gently lifted, and a young woman in a simple, tasteful dress walked in carrying a teapot. She looked to be in her early 20s with a fresh, makeup-free face that was more beautiful than any celebrity I had ever seen. She had a clean, warm aura about her, like a new spring shoot, instantly putting people at ease. "Good evening, sir. My name is Ava, and I'll be your server. This is a first flush Darjeeling to start." Her voice was as pleasant as her appearance, soft and sweet, like a southern dessert. Ava Monroe, was she in the original book? I racked my brain, but came up blank. Must be a background character. A gorgeous background character at that. I accepted the teacup, my gaze lingering on her for a few seconds. She seemed to notice, and a faint blush rose on her pale cheeks, but she didn't look away. Instead, she offered me a friendly smile, revealing 2 shallow dimples. "Interesting. Do you have any dietary restrictions or preferences?" she asked, taking out a notepad. "No need." I waved my hand. "Let Mr. Monroe decide. Just have him prepare a few of his signature dishes." Ava's eyes lit up as she looked at me with some surprise. "You know my grandfather? I've long admired his reputation," I said with a smile. The novel had mentioned him in passing. A master chef from a family of culinary legends, eccentric, and would only cook for those who truly appreciated food. Soon, a series of exquisite dishes were brought to the table. A clear consommé, slow-braised short rib, Dover sole meunière. Each one was a work of art. I ate with immense satisfaction. This was the life. Ava stood quietly by, serving the dishes, occasionally glancing at me with curiosity. "You seem to know a lot about food," she finally ventured. "A little," I said, picking up a glistening piece of short rib. It melted in my mouth, rich but not greasy. This short rib is cooked to perfection. A minute more and it would be dry, a minute less and it would be fatty, and it was braised with a dry sherry. The aroma has completely infused the meat. Superb. Ava's eyes grew brighter and brighter, as if she'd discovered a new continent. "How did you know it was sherry?" "I can smell it." I pointed to my nose. "A good chef is also a good connoisseur of spirits." She laughed at my joke, her dimples appearing again, making her incredibly charming. Just then, I heard a soft whining sound at my feet. Looking down, I saw a fluffy, golden puppy pawing at my pant leg, trying to climb up. It was my pet, Slacker. Ava noticed him too and let out a soft cry of delight. "Oh, he's adorable." No sooner had she spoken than another furry head appeared from behind her. A snow-white ragdoll cat sauntered out with elegant steps, walked right up to Slacker, and licked his nose with its tiny pink tongue. Slacker, the traitor, immediately started wagging his tail and snuggled up to the cat. "That's my cat, Cash," Ava said with an embarrassed smile. I watched the shameless display of affection between Slacker and Cash and raised an eyebrow. Well, what do you know? Even my dog is getting a girlfriend before I do. This wingman is certainly putting in the work. The next day, I was still lazing in bed when a call from Miller jolted me awake. Sir, we won." Miller's voice was trembling with excitement. "Won what?" I asked groggily. "The Hudson West plot." "We got it." I shot up in bed. "What plot?" "The Hudson West development you said wasn't fun yesterday." Miller's voice was filled with pure adoration. "You told me to handle it. So I took the liberty of intercepting the Vance deal. I never expected that the city would announce plans for a new tech hub in Hudson West this morning. The value of that land shot up tenfold overnight." What? Did that really happen?" "Sir, your foresight is extraordinary." Miller continued his ecstatic report. "In his desperation to outbid us, Richie Vance misappropriated company funds. Now his capital chain is broken, his company's stock has plummeted, and they're on the verge of bankruptcy. Not only did we acquire a prime piece of real estate, but we also eliminated a competitor. 2 birds with 1 stone. It's brilliant." I rubbed my temples. All I wanted was to get a nice dinner, right? "Understood," I replied calmly, trying my best to maintain my persona of profound mystery. "Sir, everyone at the company is calling you a once-in-a-century business genius. And Miller paused, his tone turning even stranger. "There's a trending hashtag on Twitter right now. Hashtag Cole Anderson slept in. It's gone viral. I'm sorry. Everyone's saying you made a fortune in your sleep, calling you the true god of coasting. Because of this hashtag, our company's stock hit its limit up again today." I was utterly speechless. What is wrong with people on the internet? After hanging up, I clicked on a financial news site. The headlines were all about Anderson Corp's precision acquisition and the devastating blow to Vance Industries. The articles painted me as a master strategist, a mysterious tycoon who could topple empires with a casual wave. And it all started because I wanted to try a new restaurant. This world was getting more ridiculous by the minute. Meanwhile, in the top-floor office of the Davenport Group, Victoria Davenport stared at the news on her monitor, the first crack appearing on her perpetually icy face. A coincidence. It must be a coincidence, she muttered, though the tips of her fingers turned white from gripping her desk. How could that hedonistic waste of space possibly execute such a precise commercial attack in a single day? She refused to believe it. She picked up her phone and called her assistant. Investigate. Find out everything Cole Anderson did yesterday. Everyone he met. I want to know about every single hair on his head. She had to know who was pulling the strings behind him.